Today we are tracking the top trending sports cards using our SportsCardsPro app. This is going to be featuring the highest sales volume data over the course of the last 7 days. First thing we're going to do is jump onto the SportsCardsPro app. As we mentioned, we're going to jump into the tools feature. From here, you're going to go to sales volume data. Now, I should mention that this feature is part of the premium features available on the SportsCardsPro website. For just $6 a month, you get access to this feature and many other features. However, just for subscribing today, just for watching this video, you get access to it absolutely for free. Now, that's out of the way. We've got Michael Jordan still trending. I mean, this guy is 30 years removed from the league. I mean, not really. It's like 20 years removed, but still trending. Just shows the impact that this man has. So many different cards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not going to go into his all-star card. We'll leave MJ alone for now. Instead, we are going to go into Damian Lillard, 27 in terms of sales volume over the course of the last 7 days. This 2012 Panini Prism is considered his rookie card. This card was selling for as high as $750 back in September of 2020. It stabilized around $250. 300, dipped down in January of 2022 and has kind of just been down there for a little bit until recently when he got traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this card is about $102 ungraded. PSA 10 copies will cost you about $365. 9 5s are $175. 9s $150. There are small margins to be made if you have a raw copy and you grade it. Comes back a 9, you're still somewhat profitable. If it comes back an 8 or lower, however, you've definitely lost money. We are going to take the time to check out this pop report feature. Now, you can find this if you scroll down a little bit on a good chunk of cards. This shows you the number of PSA 10s, 9s, etc. in the pop report just by clicking into the card. A great feature and one I try to feature on most of our videos. As you can see here, PSA 10 copies, there are 1,152 of them. 9s, about 1,075, 8s, 81, etc., etc. Now, using this information, it looks like these are easy-ish grades, with the vast majority of them being 9s and 10s. So definitely something to look out for if you're trying to grade this raw copy, okay? As always, make sure you know what you're looking for in terms of centering, edges, corners, and surface, and that'll ensure that you get the best possible grade. On to our next category, baseball. Guess what? Baseball playoffs are here. We just saw the divisional rounds, or the wildcard rounds rather, and the Arizona Diamondbacks look as for real as they've looked the entire season, and that is mainly in part due to Corbin Carroll. And we're going to jump into that. 75 of his cards have sold, of this Topps Chrome card actually, have sold in the last 7 days. This card started out at $2.45, went down to about $2.12, back up to about $2.65. So not a crazy markup here, but it's an all-time high for this card, which you don't see very often after release of a hyped prospect who is probably going to win the Rookie of the Year. PSA 10 copies go for about $45. 9 5s, $26.35. PSA 9s are $19. So this is a rare occasion where if you grade this card, at least based on some of the pricing right now, if you grade this card, it comes back a 9. It's pretty much breaking even. PSA 10s, there's a decent markup there. But with how long it takes to grade, and that being very up in the air, it's generally a risky play to try to time these prices with your cards. I mean, unless it's going to take about 2 months, 2.5 months, unless for whatever reason Arizona wins the World Series, chances are, as more and more of these 10s flood the marketplace, this price will probably go down. I'm not telling you to buy or to sell. I'm just letting you know my own personal opinion on what I think is going to go down. All right, team? On to our next category. Football, also in full swing. We're on week 5, I think. Brock Purdy, still very high on this list. He's been high on this list all year. I mean, this guy has shown that he's for real. Mr. Irrelevant is no longer irrelevant, but we are going to go into Tua because we have not featured Tua yet. His Dolphins, as well as him, are playing out of this world right now, despite losing last week to the Bills. Before that, they had a 70-point performance against the Denver Broncos, which is bananas. This card's all-time high was $82 raw back in December of 2020. It has dipped spiked considerably. This raw copy is going for about $10 now. PSA 10 copies are about $91.70. 9.5s, $31.75. 9s, $21.78. As you can see here, the vast majority of these cards grade a 9 and 10, but as you can see, there's definitely more 9s in population than are 10s. So keep that in mind and try to figure out why there's so many 9s. Maybe it's centering, maybe they come with print lines. That's one of my favorite things about seeing these charts is like, okay, now let's figure out what the problem with all the 9s are. Next category we've got is hockey. We had our preseason just finished. Season starts in a few days. A lot of people are drafting players for hockey pools. I know I'm in that category. As a result of that, you're going to see most likely an uptick in volume. I mean, Cole Caulfield is now top of this list with 33. We're going to go into Caden Gooley's cards. 18 of them have sold in the last week. This card comes from 2022 Upper Deck. Montreal Canadiens prospect. Generally speaking, Canadiens cards do pretty well, and that's Canada, the country, as well as the Canadiens of Montreal. This card's all-time high was when it first debuted for $19.20, dipped down to about $12, $13 in the offseason. And now during the preseason, it's come up a little bit. We got $16 here and now about $14.50. 9s are going for about $40.76. That's what I love about hockey. 9.5s are going for $65. PSA 10s are going for about $90. Next category, racing. Ooh, we have Liam Lawson pretty high on this list. 3 in terms of sales volume. That's okay. Like we said previously, we're going to get more and more sales volume data as this market starts to mature. It's nice to see an actual player, or not player, a driver on this list rather. This is his 2021 Topps Chrome. This card was going for about $2.59 back in July, and it has come up to about $4. So up a fair bit amount since then. PSA 10 copies are going for about $42. 9.5s are going for just under $30. And a 9 will cost you about $15. Next up on this list, we got soccer. Lionel Messi always managed to find himself high on this list, despite being injured, actually. But we are going to go into a Yusufa Moukoko because I don't understand why so many have sold. 7-day volume, we've got 5 of them. This is his 2020 Topps Living UEFA Champions League. Now, what I will say is because the volume is quite high on this, and by high, I mean 5, it's entirely possible that all of these were listed by the same seller and perhaps put out at auction, and that's why. Now, I also believe that these will print on demand, so they're not entirely scarce. Don't quote me on that, but I'm fairly positive. This card debuted at about $20. It has since come down, had a little bit of a spike back in December of 2022. I believe that was during the World Cup. And then it has come down considerably to about $1. So down pretty hard right now. PSA 10 copies are going for $28.56. 9.5s are $28. It's not often you see a price discrepancy like this where it's only $8. Kind of like it. And then 9s are going for about $20 here. All right, team. Next category, UFC. 7-day volume. Nick Rosas is quite high on this list with 3 sales. His 2023 rookie Panini Prism UFC card was selling for about $5 back in May. Went down considerably to about $1.88, where it hung out for a little bit. It's now about $3. PSA 10 copies are $41.14. 9.5s are $27.32, and 9s are $14. All right, my friends. Final category, we've got wrestling. 17 for our hobby box. We're gonna go into Stone Cold Steve Austin's 2021 Topps Living set. Now there's 6 of these that are sold. It's a gorgeous looking card, as you can see over here. Their all-time high was about $8.59. It's dipped down to about $1. See this happen a lot, especially early. I always warn you guys, try not to buy too many cards close to their debut. Give it some time, see how the market reacts, and then you can kind of cherry pick what you actually want. PSA 10 copies are going for $45. 9.5s are $27.81. PSA 9s are $19. Team, we are going to go into some wax. So what we're going to do for that, we are going to go on over to, let's go football. We're going to go football wax. Here you have a bunch of different things to choose from: hobby boxes, retail boxes, blaster boxes. We are going to football mega boxes and see what we find. We've got 2022 Panini Select draft picks, $38.42. 2022 Panini Prism football, $39.74. 21 Playbook, $44.29. Let's find something fun. 2020 Select Football. These are the mega boxes. I mean, these were debuting for, I think, like $45 at the time. They're now $192.88. Just goes to show if you bet on a rookie class and you're right, there is a some decent profit to be made there. Team, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the top trending sports cards of the week. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for jumping on here. As always, do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts and opinions with us and your friends. For now, Coach Co and Sports Cards Pro are out of here. Peace.